All right, so this is a review on episode 4, I believe. Yeah, episode 4 of Dem, season 1, episode 4, and yeah, just gonna get straight into it. And before I get straight into it, I've been seeing some things on social media, especially Twitter, where some people are complaining about it in terms of it's similar to the movie Us. I haven't seen Us yet, so I'm gonna have to watch that to see. Um, and I'll do a comparison like after I watch the full episodes of season 1 of them. But it's like they're saying, oh, they're moaning. But they were moaning. I'm gonna use it like that. They were moaning and complaining about, oh, there's so much black trauma. What we don't need this. But the funny thing is, yeah, it's not even a funny thing. But the irony of that is, look, you don't have to watch it if you don't want to watch it. Other than that, the irony I want to say is this: you're on social media. These same people complaining about that, like I know these same people that the same ones that I'm aware of that complaining about that. I've seen them with. I've seen their social media feed reposting and even posting themselves about black trauma. So you tell me, Saeed, what the fuck is the difference between that and then an actual TV show? What's the difference? There is no difference, is there? So pipe down and just watch it if you want to watch it, or don't watch it if you don't want to watch it. Simple as that. But with everything, I genuinely believe there are lessons. Yeah, so this is one thing I will continue to do when I do reviews of TV shows or movies or whatever. We're going to look at the lessons. Now, in episode 4, it was really interesting and intriguing to me because there were some things that I was like, what the fuck? Really? Yeah, so let's just get into it. I wrote some notes down this time so you can see that I'm very serious what I'm doing. Alright, so the one thing that was, I won't say the part it was in, yeah, there was this question that one of the neighbors asked. It was a white woman that was a neighbor in it. Because just to put things into context, there's a black family, dark skinned black family. They're moving to a new neighborhood. That is more predominantly white families, this, that, and a third, and yeah. So and let's be real, they don't like the fact that this black family has moved in. You know what I mean? They don't like that these Negroes have moved in. So that, you know what I mean. So anyway, so they started to mistreat them. So she speaks to well, basically it's something that happened. I forgot what it was, but like the woman walks up. Yeah, in fact there was something that was mad. I can't explain it. They were like, I remember although me and my uncle were bantering at that time, but it's some real shit. We shouldn't be something to bantering about, but it is what it is. The past is the past. But about gollywogs and stuff like that. So there were some things to do with that. I don't want to give away too much of it, but like, yeah. So she was upset about that, rightfully so, and so she stormed over to the neighbors while the father took their children to well, Henry took their children to school and that, but yeah. So she stormed over to the neighbor that was across the road basically, and then yeah. Then she asked her this. The white woman asked her this: why would you live somewhere you're not wanted? It's true. Like, if you're, this is why I recommend that black people should watch this TV show. But some black people don't. Some people in general won't grasp what I'm seeing. So I have to explain it, and now you're hearing what I'm saying, and you're like, that actually makes sense. Now, no, but no, let's be real. Why would you live somewhere where you're not wanted? It's the same thing with, of late, I've been seeing a lot of people get deported, you know what I mean? Like, not personally for people I personally know, but there's some people I'm aware of, yeah, in the UK, especially, in London especially, they are getting deported. You know what I mean? It's like even, what's his name? Cash, get me, aka Cash Static. Like, he was deported like a few years ago, you know what I mean, to Jamaica, and now he's back, but like you know what I mean? Like it's like he's back in London and stuff like that. So um, it's interesting how certain things are. But then another thing is, it's like there's another person. Oh, I don't even know what their name is. Shit, but they were born in London or whatever, or born in the UK, and they get deported. I think they're like an actor or something like that, and they get deported. And my thing is this: see it as a blessing in disguise. I'm like, I listen. If it ever got to a situation, yeah, where these motherfuckers want to deport me, I'm saying, yo, all right, deport me, but I want this, and this, and I'll go. You know what I mean? Or even if they don't give me what I'm demanding, all right, cool, cool. I'm still going to find my way and make my way. Do you see what I mean? Like, I don't understand the logic of or the mindset of, yeah, but I don't know nobody, blah blah. Make friends, bruv. Like, what the fuck? Or when I don't speak the language, or sooner or later you're gonna connect with someone that speaks similar languages, or someone that, or sooner or later you're gonna be able to communicate with someone in the same language. It is what it is. Like, you will adapt. Humans can adapt to changes. It's the same thing with rock. Like, I'll give you an example. Yeah, this is how humans can adapt to change. This is how I know some people are capping when they're saying they can't I don't explain it, like they don't know what to, you know what I mean? Whatever their excuse is, yeah? Like, I get it if you're so used to somewhere, blah blah blah, but sometimes, get me, if you're used to a particular lifestyle, right? Like, as soon as later you adapt. For example, me, I was used to living with loads of people. Well, I say loads, but I had quite a number of foster sisters and that. You know what I mean? Get me? I was used to coming home from school and college or whatever to some cooked food. I was used to noise. You know what I mean? I say noise, but get me? It is kind of noise when I deep it. Um, I was used to, you know, having arguments with my foster sisters here and there. I was used to taking the piss out of my foster sisters now and again. I was used to so many shit like that, so many stuff, right? And then it got to a time when I had to live by myself, yeah. And that's because when you're 18, when you're fostered, you're in the UK, as far as I'm aware, it's like they give you a house in it, or a flat, not a house, but a flat. And I had one in like West Norwood, but I'm not. And then now I've got another one, another flat in South London. But that was getting prepared, so that was already being built at the time in it. So it wasn't ready, but I had to move out well, almost immediately. But somehow my foster mom managed a way to make me stay there for at least, I think, at least for another month or whatever. Yeah, it was like another month because I moved when I was like in September, because you're meant to move up when you're on your birthday, which is mad. How am I supposed to celebrate my 18th? Yeah, your 18th. How am I supposed to celebrate that? And you're telling me I gotta move out? Fuck off, bruv. Like, allow yourself. But anyway, so yeah, so long story short, boom. It took me maybe a couple years to more or less adapt. Yeah, because there were some nights I just couldn't sleep. Like, I couldn't sleep because like it's too quiet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's too quiet. I need noise. And then after a while, I started hearing noise, which is interesting. I don't know if it's because like it's not like, even now if I sit down here, give it probably 5 minutes, you're gonna hear sirens. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I first moved here, I didn't really hear sirens like that, as far as I remember. But and I didn't really hear neighbors making noise as if it's like my siblings making noise upstairs or wherever they are. You know what I mean? Like, I never really had that, and then now I'm getting that. So it's that's helped me adapt even more. But at the same time, the things that I wasn't used to, like coming home, shit, I got me my own food. You know what I mean? I got to buy my own groceries. I got to do all that stuff there. Like, it's fucking mad. But I'm used to it because I've adapted. You know what I mean? You will adapt. Yeah. I'm still trying to make new connections. I won't say friends, but I'm gonna say new connections, stuff like that. That's one thing that lockdown has taught me. I need to make more connection in these ends, which is cool. But because I talk to people now and again, but like I need proper connections. You know what I'm saying? Because talking to people is different than having a connection. You know what I mean? But as far as lockdown is concerned, as far as everyone else has adapted. You've adapted to wearing a flipping face mask. You have adapted to the 2 distance rule or whatever you want to call it. You've adapted to, possibly working from home. You've adapted to so many things. Yeah? You may not have wanted to, but you've adapted to it. Do you understand? So much to the point where now when the lift restriction, the lift lockdown, your mind is like frazzled because you're like, shit, this don't feel normal anymore, even though it used to be normal. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But yeah, that's me just going on one for that thing there. So there's other points I want to make. Another point I want to make as well. So yeah, like why would you want to go where you wanted? I've always keep saying that it's better to go or create where you are wanted and accepted and appreciated. You see what I'm saying? So we can create that if you want to create that. It's up to you. Yeah. If you want to do that, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. In fact, do that. But there's 2 things you could do. You can click the link in the description box below where it says make a donation. You can make a donation of any amount, and you can help us put things into place where we're able to ensure that we have a proper community to be able to get to that level. Do you know what I mean? Like trust me. What's that say? Trust you. Yeah, because things got to change. Another thing is that was very interesting was not to give away too much of it, like I'm saying, but one thing I saw in there where the oldest daughter, I don't know how old she is, but like in school, basically, like they end up seeing something. You know what I mean? They discover something. That's one thing together, right? Like I won't say exactly what it is, but they discover something. So this is what I mean. If you're a parent watching this, you have to understand that your children are naturally curious and they can naturally fold under peer pressure if you don't teach them to stand firm and say no and make that no be no, and they don't feel like they are awkward or have no friends or whatever if they say no, because that's another thing about peer pressure. They can make you feel like, okay, well, you were outcast of the friendship group then. You know what I mean? But yeah, there was one particular thing where they were somewhere and then she was putting on makeup. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying whether it's wrong or right to wear makeup or to put on makeup, whatever the case is. But what I will say is this. That her friend taught her. So again, if you're a woman, if you're a parent watching this, you need to be vigilant of the friend she's keeping, the friend, you know what I mean? Like it sounds basic, but it's the truth. Like you have to be vigilant because you have to understand they're gonna have an influence on your child's life as well. It is what it is. And vice versa. They're gonna have your child have an influence on them as well. But at the same time, you don't know what type of influence. Could be bad influence, could be good influence. You just don't know. You know what I mean? Like I remember I was watching something. I forgot what it was. I believe it was a podcast. I can't remember what podcast it was. And or was it a podcast? I can't remember. Either way, I was watching something, and then they mentioned it was a woman that was mentioning this, and then she said like she experimented in school when she was like 14 or something like that with other girls. And we're not talking about science experiment. We're talking about different, like intimate type of experiment. You know what I mean? This is how some girls end up becoming lesbians or bisexuals. And the same thing with guys as well. Like, that's how they end up being gay or bisexual. You know what I mean? Now, was there peer pressure involved? Possibly. Was there not? Maybe not. Who knows? Yeah, but these things happen. Yeah? And the fact that you need to be aware that these things happen. These things happen. Anyway. And you're thinking where that happens? Most times, apparently, it happens in toilets. You know what I mean? In the bath, in the toilet, you know what I mean? Or maybe, It's just mad. I don't explain it. It's crazy. At 13, 14 years old, bruv. In fact, I was reading, even I was reading a book. I forgot what book it was. I keep forgetting the names of these books, but I remember it was in Nigeria actually, and they were in a boarding school in it. And get me, he more or less avoided that situation, but or did he avoid? I can't remember, but there was something similar to that. You know what I mean? And then even there was something of I can't say how recent it was, but I'm definitely sure. I definitely mentioned on the 2FA podcast where there was this boy that was unfortunately molested or whatever by his peers and stuff like that. That were older peers. You know what I mean? Like, man, that was in Nigeria, yeah. So these things happen across the globe. So don't get it straight. I mean, don't get it twisted. Get it straight. Um, what's the other point I want to make? There's quite a few. I should have made this properly. The points properly. So I say, let me think. Um, all right. So there's another thing where, yeah, there's another thing where the mom or the black woman, forgot her name in it. I forgot. But like she mentions she sees another black woman basically. Um, and yeah, because she went somewhere and she found out boom boom boom. But anyway, she went there and saw the black woman and stuff like that, and she was jubilated, she was of joy, and so was the other woman because like you know often you see black another black family, blah blah blah, another black woman in this neighborhood, and yeah, so what was interesting though, so you mentioned something like this. I'm gonna try to read this properly. Um, basically the black woman that she saw, the black wife, let's say, she said, or Henry's wife, she says, the woman she was speaking to, she said, yeah, the black woman she was speaking to said, where is it? She learned to see, so basically, she learned to see things as they really are, and instead of looking at her window at mean white folks, yeah, she should be attending to get the seems to be attending the home, making it clean. You know what I mean? See, this is what I mean. You got to focus on what's really important to you. You know what I mean? Rather than focusing on, oh, these people are mean, blah, 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 and you've seen all the things that they're doing. All right, yeah, we understand those things are happening, but that's outside the home. But as long as you take care of inside the home, you know what I mean? So you're good. You know what I mean? I think that's key as well. Yeah, that's key. Having because that's your space. And I forgot what it's called, French way or something mad like that. Not mad, but something like that, where the things are arranged in certain plates, certain orders and stuff like that that give you a calm peace of mind and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, so that's one thing. Then she mentioned something else. She also mentioned she's been preparing for this day, seeing another black person basically. And then she mentioned something really, really interesting. Yeah, she said she she would scrub and scrub to make herself white. And I was like, what? Nah, I'm thinking, yo, this is mad. And then she also mentioned about cleaning the boys. Then she said, it's a mother's job is never done. Which is true. And so is a father's job. It's never done. But if you train them to the point where they become adults or train them to be adults, they won't necessarily need you as a mother or need you as a father. Like it is what it is. The game's the game. That's the whole point. That's what I believe anyway. Um, but yeah, and there's something that happened as well. And this is why I was saying like, what the fuck? There's something anyway. When you watch it, you will see it. I don't want to give too much of it, but I'm saying the lessons the lessons in this is fact of you gotta continue to teach black people in general. Get me, your melanin is your melanin, your skin is your skin. Get me, there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like it's just the way um how can I put it? It's the way Western society depicts black people in general, yeah? Especially dark skinned black people. It's the way they depict it. It's just, you know what I mean? That's why I rate Ray Black for creating a song like Dark Skin because it only does more positive for the dark skin community, dark skin black community, and I like the fact that Daniel Kaluuya, who was it there? Daniel Sturridge, Giggs, Buck, um, Santan Dave or Dave, who else is there? And obviously, Damson Idris, yeah, talking about DSS, dark skin society. Do you know what I mean? So it's good having these level of communications and because it empowers. You know what I mean? It empowers. We need that. We need that. We need that. And the fact that they're doing positive as well, that makes it even more empowering because it's like, raw, they're doing something positive, they're doing this, they're doing that. Like, raw, okay. So they're doing that, the right representation, you know what I mean? So there's another point as well, in regards to Henry now. And this is where workplace racism happens, yeah? Where most people experience workplace racism as well. So basically, he goes in the lift, right? And he overhears his colleagues talking about an after work party. And then one of them leaves the lift and the other one's like, oh, you wouldn't be interested in that. That's the and the third, didn't he? And the thing is, it's not like Henry was looking at with like curious, like, oh, I want. And you know how some people can have the energy and the vibe that they really want in, but it's like shit. Like, you know what I mean? You can tell by their facial expressions, you can tell by their energy, but he wasn't giving off that energy or that look. He's like, you know what I mean? He was just ready to go to his destination on destination. That's what it is. But then eventually he ends up going anyway, and then he tells, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, he goes anyway. And what's interesting is there's like a group, well, I say group, but a black band. You know what I mean? So it's like, hang on, you hire a black band or a Negro band, and you're not saying that, and you're saying a black person wouldn't be interested, or another Negro that works for your company or works with you wouldn't be interested. Come on now, make it make sense. Anyway, because I would be interested, even if I don't. Because you know how this is where it gets twisted. Because I know in some place, work offices or wherever, some white people or whatever, they will make references, be like, "Oh, I went to a Snoop Dogg concert last night," and you may not be interested in Snoop Dogg. You may have never mentioned Snoop Dogg at all, never. But immediately they tell you they went to a Snoop Dogg concert. Like, okay, why are you telling me? What's that got to do with me? It's different if I've mentioned Snoop Dogg, that, oh, I like Snoop Dogg, or I've listened to Snoop Dogg and you can overhear it in my headphones or whatever the case is, or you see me on break time and I'm scrolling in my feed and you're scrolling down my Instagram, whatever, or social media, and there's Snoop Dogg there, then it's different, you know what I mean? But if there was nothing that would make you wanna, or make someone else wanna mention Snoop Dogg, why the hell would you mention Snoop Dogg? So there's a difference. But it still would be a vibe where if you're one of the few black people that work in that company, you know what I mean? It's like you want a level of not just appreciation, but you want that level of like connectivity. You know what I mean? To feel like you're one of everyone else. Otherwise, you just feel isolated. Yeah. So. But yeah, like one thing as well. There's something else. I forgot what it was. Yeah. So with that party, Henry starts to see like the minstrel show, like, which is mad interesting. I was like, what? And this is why I say people should watch it. There's levels to this thing. This thing is moving like this is longer than I expected, but it is what it is. Yeah. So long story short, and then with something to do with the work party as well, or there was something else that one of the, I don't know who he was. He obviously was the top person in the company, and then Henry's boss, like he basically said, basically Henry's gonna introduce himself in it, and then the boss was like, no, it doesn't. I haven't told that a Negro works for a company that's part of the team, blah blah blah. And then Henry's like, he was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna introduce myself, and he did exactly that. And this is why I rate him for doing that, because it's like shit. Why should I be the bottom feet? Like, why should I feel less than when you are? Do you know what I mean? Bigging us up or bigging up us team of those particular type of employees. I'm one of them, and then you're telling me that I can't. You're telling me that I can't introduce myself to him. Do you know what I mean? So we did that, had a nice conversation, broke the ice very nicely. And this is the thing, like he broke the ice very nicely, very smooth. And what was so mad is you would think that Henry was the other guy's boss, but it seems of how Henry interacted with the top level boss. You know what I mean? That's the key about communication. See, regardless whether you're a man, woman, black, in fact, yeah, whether you're black or whatever, like, you need to make sure that you have good communication skills. That is going to carry you far, because you never ever know when that's going to be needed. That was needed there and then, and it worked. So we'll see what happens in episode 5, but I like the way he just did that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it can be scary because you never know what the fuck could happen, but don't move from fear. You know what I mean? Do what you gotta do. Have no fear. But anyway, the link to the original, the link to the video, or what am I talking about? I'm thinking about reaction videos right now. Fuck. Anyway, which you can watch, got loads on this channel, and if you're going to react to do a review on, leave that in the comment section below. I was gonna rate the episode, but in fact, if I was to rate the episode, it'd be like 9 out of 10. There's some things in there I'm like, what the fuck? But like I said, the lessons in it, you know what I mean? I've got to highlight the lessons. Next time I'm gonna do like bullet points of things, so it makes it a lot more easy for me to read off. You know what I mean? Because there you can see that I ended up going off into a little tangent, and yeah, this video is longer than it should be, but it is what it is. You learn what you learn, and it is what it is. You're here now. But hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, because you never know the video you suggest might just be next. Follow the Alkebulantrust on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all that stuff there. And yeah, let's go.